I think it's commonly kind of misinterpreted that when someone is in a leadership role or an executive role, that they're actually not good listeners or good followers. And that might be the case with many folks. What happens is people get really intimidated around them and they don't offer up new ideas or suggestions. But just speaking for myself, I don't think I'm alone here. I can play two roles. I could be the general or I can be the soldier. The general leads, has a plan, and the soldier executes the plan. Where I'm really uncomfortable in all this stuff is being a general soldier. And I find that a lot of, especially younger types of people, they like to make decisions together. Everything's a co-creation, everything's a collaboration, and there's a wonderful time and place for that. But when we're launching new products and ideas, I don't want it to be a groupthink. I don't want it to be a series of compromises because no one's ever happy. I mean, there's a joke about this, that a compromise is when no one's happy. So when we're all talking about, say, marketing campaigns or creating new products or things like that, if a group of us get together and design it together and try to figure it all out, and I don't feel good, they don't feel good, I don't think anybody really wants this. So I like clarity and definition and clear boundaries. Oh, you want to run this project? You take ownership over it. If you hit it out of the ballpark, great. I'm here to support you. Tell me what my role is. I will do everything I can to the best of my ability. Or you can say, Chris, what do you want to do? And I want to say what I want to do. And then I expect the same, which is I'm going to fall in line. I'm going to do exactly what you want to do to the best of my ability. And I often find there's so much of this happening in corporate America, I think, when we're trying to be inclusive, where everybody gets to have a word and everybody's an equal. It's super messy. I'll tell you something. I don't know how to drive a speedboat. So when I'm on that boat or on a sailing boat, there's a captain, tell me where to pull the rope, tell me what to do. I'll scrub the deck. I'm super happy. And I'm okay with switching roles. I found a long time ago when my wife and I were in a relationship workshop, they said that the family has usually like 5 roles and they created avatars, the lion or something. There's many different avatars. I don't remember any of that. But what I do remember, and really stuck with me, is that every family has a black sheep. And the black sheep is the saddest character, the most misunderstood and hated character within the family. The black sheep typically is the rebel, the one who goes punk rock, gets a tattoo and gets the ear piercing and seems to not do anything that the family thinks is good. But the black sheep is a critical role to play within the family because what they do is they bring new ideas. So if you can think in ancient times, if we're on an island and we think life has been good, the black sheep says, you know what, the water source that we all survive and depend on, it's drying up. We should get off this island and go somewhere else. And they're hated, they're an outcast, they're casting doubt on the tribe leader, the chief, all that kind of stuff. And they don't listen to this person. But a few people go along with the black sheep and the black sheep leaves that island or the village and finds new, more plentiful, prosperous land, and they have fruit that is abundant, and then the old tribe dies. That's a danger when we don't understand the role that we all play. And what's unhealthy with families and with corporations and companies is when we don't share those roles, when we don't move them around. Likewise, the chief, the head of the family, winds up becoming the historian, the person who preserves ideas, cultures, and customs. Now, the black sheep looks at the chief saying, you're old-fashioned, you're out of touch. We don't do things like that anymore. But what they don't realize is they bring in corporate terminology, institutional knowledge. We do these things because this is how people don't die. We learned that we don't eat these fruits. We stay away from these animals and we treat this poison this way. And you get rid of that. So what I'm trying to say here is whatever dynamic that you're in, whether you're the leader, the general, or the soldier, the person who gets the stuff done, is to have a healthy relationship. What we do is we trade roles and responsibilities, but we don't merge them together because that's where it gets really, really messy. Now, it might seem like someone who's so strongly opinionated like myself that I don't want to follow. And in fact, I really do. When I know someone's in charge, and I think we're all like this to a degree, we like to default to like, just take care of me. You got it? So when I'm in a new town at a new restaurant and somebody is a local, I just let them order. Don't even ask me. I put my entire faith and my health in your hands. You know what you're doing. I always find that like confusing why someone who's never been to a town, who's never been to a restaurant, who's never eaten this type of food says, well, I'd like the wonton soup, please. And what they do is they go with the familiar and not what the person who's there would recommend. And it's a weird thing, but I see it happening a lot. If you find yourself in a situation like that, make sure you stop and check in with yourself. Like, what am I doing here? I clearly don't want to lead, but I'm not letting the leader lead. And it's super frustrating. I'm a good soldier, but what I don't like to do is someone to tell me, hey, I want you to follow my directions, and then ask me, what would you like to do? What? And let me put it in real terms, okay? This is a relationship thing that I struggle with sometimes. My wife will often ask me, hey, I need you to fix the computer. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? And she'll tell me and say, okay, let me work through it. But she doesn't leave. She's not there to learn. She's like, you want to try this? I'm like, okay. And what if we click on that? At a certain point, I want to myself. And the reason being is, if you knew how to fix it, why don't you fix it? If you want me to fix it, let me fix it. Something I learned from a mentor, God rest his soul, Kieran McLaren, he would say something like, you can tell me what you want, you can tell me how to do it, but you can't tell me both. And that kind of summarizes like my whole feeling about it. Like, allow me the autonomy to figure it out where you lead and I'll just follow what you do. That's where we wind up in some situations that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So here's a quick summary for this in case you're lost in the sauce here, if you will, is number one is to respect that within complex dynamics with a family or within a business, everybody plays a really important role to know what those roles are. And then from time to time, share the roles. It helps us with empathy, helps us allow one another to grow in our own personal development. And if you can do that, that's really great. And the last thing, just for me, I don't know if it works for you, is when you have a clearly defined role, let the person do what it is that you gave them the opportunity to do versus then trying to micromanage every single part of it.